Hey everybody, how you doing? Hope your evening is going well. And here's a little something that provides something less crazy away from these issues that we're all dealing with in the world, and uh, trying to get wrap our minds around. Right, something that requires a little less, shall we say, um, bother and blather. How's that? Right? Is that right? Bother and blather. Yeah, bother and blather, bother and blather. Um, yeah, I think so. But bother and blather, or is it lather? I haven't figured that one out yet. But anyway, whatever. Okay, it is our favorite other subject about Las Vegas Raiders Allegiant Stadium, and the one that you all have been waiting to talk about. But I want to just a little bit as I bring you in, tell you that tomorrow at 3 o'clock, my friend, that's right, Tanis Parenta, is going to be this lady right here, right here, right here, all right, is going to be my special guest, 14 hours, okay? 14 hours. We know each other now for 5 years, 14 hours, okay? Is going to be my special guest here talking about her roles on Billions on Showtime and on FBI Most Wanted on CBS. Really proud of her. First met her, interviewed her regarding her role on House of Cards as Tammy, the Indian gaming waitress, and we became fast friends. So I mean friends in real life. I don't mean like friends, through the computer and that sort of thing. I mean friends in real life. Went to 21 in New York, had a great time. So really excited to have her back. Proud of her, and can't wait to dive in and talk about her roles and everything else, and how she's living, and during the pandemic as well, right? So please, be here, and don't be late, or don't be so late that you miss it, right? All right. Okay. 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 So here we are with this grand, glorious facility, still under construction, still a long way to go here. That's right, Las Vegas Stadium, Allegiant Stadium, because they have the naming rights deal. This is a live shot tonight from Las Vegas. And as you can tell, there are people still working on it. You can see that look like the people where have lights on and in key areas of the stadium. That's not for show. Folks are at work. And I would hope and pray for their sake that they are maintaining social distancing. Why? Because earlier this week, a report came down that an additional 15 workers were found to have had the coronavirus after tested workers. I mean, 391 workers were tested, but at this point, an additional 15 workers. The Review Journal, which reported it, tried to get slick again. In other words, rather than just counting up the total, you know what they did? Well, it's 15 workers, not, hey, you know what? 2 weeks ago, we had 16. The electrical thing, a little over 2 weeks ago. 16 plus 15, 31. Add them together. That was never done. There's always this effort to make things look a little rosier and a little better than just give people the truth, I mean, hey, the whole world is in the middle of a pandemic. Why do they have to act like they're not affected as much as they really are? Because they are. Fine. Okay? That boggles the mind that they would do that. It just is absolutely unbelievable. And I know you have other things on your mind tonight, so I'm not going to belabor this point too long tonight, but because the world has shifted. But I got to talk about it. Because I have this big, gigantic question. And the big, gigantic question is, Are they going to sterilize? Are they going to sterilize the stadium? Is there a sterilization plan? Hey, John Marks, what's happening? Is there a sterilization plan for Las Vegas Stadium? I mean, don't you wonder and want to know? I mean, hey, those of you who are buying tickets, who have tickets, don't you want to know that you're safe going into this thing? Don't you want to know that you're going to be able to enjoy, this thing in all of its glory, right? And just you can sort of wrap your mind around it or your hands or something, and basically just sort of grab it like that, right? You get the idea. Okay, so the whole point is, I mean, you want to go to this thing, okay? You want to go to this thing, right? So you want to go to this thing. You know, it's got to be clean for you, no question about it. No question about it. You're gonna let this happen. John Marks, would you go to a facility of any kind, knowing that it had 31 workers testing positive for the coronavirus and no plan for stadium sterilization? I mean, so you go to the restroom to do the two, right? All right. And, so John says probably not, but they'll do what they can to get this thing done. Why? How? Why? The Lord Jesus Christ, I put my trust in. Other people, no, I raised the question. That's why I raised the questions, because I'm certain, and I've seen this in my life, where we let people do things, bad things in some cases, and we don't question it. We don't intervene. We don't say anything. We don't give them a warning sign and say, hey, you know what? That looks like trouble. And this looks like trouble. Okay. What's the over under on total workers that will have the coronavirus? Do you know? Anybody? Bueller? Just wondering. Oh, and then what happened to all the tweets? All right. John Mark says Vegas doesn't get Jesus Christ. Whatever happened to all those ideas that, oh, well, they're only a handful, right? Remember that? It sounds almost, dare I say, Trumpian, right? Okay. And you know what the saddest part is? To read, as I did, there's a blog called Jedi Rich, and he's talking about some very old news about the crane that had fallen last July. Okay, fine. That was reported, but I didn't want to get the workers in any bad shape, so I, left that alone, because the workers were saying, that were acting as the whistleblowers were saying, hey, you know what? We have the greatest respect for Mortensen and McCarthy, and so we believe that they're going to get that issue straightened out. So I left it alone. But it was reported. So it happened. But I say that because Jedi Rich Lightlauer wrote about he wrote about a couple that was basically dumping their furniture and wares. Sounded like they were in bad shape. Something they worked at the stadium? Oh no, I hope that's not the case. There are a lot of people hurting. Okay? A lot of people hurting. And there shouldn't be such a rush to get this right. Excuse me, rephrase that. There shouldn't be such a rush to open it that they don't get it right. How many times have I said that? Okay. John Mark says, zoom in on stadium. Okay. I will do that. There we go. Okay. And so there you are. There should not be a rush to get this right, because we don't even know if we're going to have a season. And I don't know which parts of our economy are going to stand up, because we have a government that is too afraid to pump money into the economy. It's taking its sweet time. And while it's taking its sweet time, major institutions around us are suffering. That means jobs for you and me. That means potential vendors for you. We have now, do you realize, 40 million people who have filed for unemployment? Folks, the working population size of the United States is roughly 150 million. You're talking about almost 1/3 of the country that has filed for unemployment insurance. That says nothing about those folks who didn't file because they didn't think they could get it and yet need it. So we're looking at, I would say, just a good underemployment rate that's approaching 60% easily. People easily, okay? 40 million people is 40 million too many. Yeah, and the numbers are generally like, okay, well, 300, during the Obama administration, you might have 313,000 people or even 153,000 people applying for unemployment insurance, something like that, right? But instead of taking action, this administration says, hey, you know what? I'll tell you what. Well, let's talk about me. Let's talk about me. Let's talk about me. And around the country, there are people who are suffering. Okay. I have friends who don't understand how, or they're afraid to apply for the payroll protection program. And yet, if you are, and I'm saying this to you to emphasize this, let's look at me. If you are an independent contractor, you need to sign up for that thing right now if you haven't done so. The money really is sitting there. What they ought to do is take that money, divide up, and dump it into your accounts. Okay. Sign up for it. And if you need help or assistance, you know how to contact me for other things. Contact me for the stuff that matters. I'm happy to help you. Okay. Wow. So, yeah. So, there's the stadium. Anyway, tonight I'm going to talk about this more tomorrow, but I'm going to retire because I've got an enormously humongous day tomorrow. And I told you about the star of the day that is going to grace our awesome place, Tanis. And, I say again, I can't wait. I'm excited to have her on. So I'm going to have a short one tonight, then another one tomorrow night. Please, folks, be safe out there. And as you saw from George Lloyd, it's a crazy place, man. You don't know who you can trust. You really don't. You don't know. You do anything, go in with your friends anywhere, if you have to go. And, hey, put on a mask. All right. Why are you sad tonight, Rocky Mountain? But I'm saying, if you have to go, why are you sad? What's going on? What's going on, PJ? What's bothering you? What's up? Talk or type. Because I'll listen and then respond. Then I gotta go. But I'm sorry that you're sad. Don't know why you're sad though. So okay. You're sad to see the riots. PJ, you should be sad that you saw a police officer put his knee on an unarmed, innocent black man because you didn't see the money he was alleged to pass, because you don't know if it was really counterfeit or what. Okay. You ought to be sad. In fact, I hope your parents keep you from seeing that. It was awful. You say you're sad for the riots? You ought to be sad for George Floyd, because George Floyd cannot get his life back. And not only that, it was played out in full view of anyone. Okay? And why? He's black. I've said it once. I'll say it 1,000 times. Racism is a mental illness. But I didn't want to talk about that here. I want to talk about the stadium issue. We can talk about that another time. All right? So here's the thing. And PJ, be thankful for your parents and your life. Take care of your own private Idaho right here. All right. Take care of your own private Idaho. Okay. That's all you got, man. It's good to be sad, cry if you need to, but take care of your own private Idaho. And hey, if you need a little cheering up, take a look at this. It is a beautiful facility. As John has pointed out, it is state of the art. It is nice. The Raiders finally have a stadium of their own. And they've got problems they have to straighten out. Okay? But there is no questioning what this is a kick butt facility. But guess what? They're going to have to sterilize it, folks. Oh. All right, folks. Stadium's awesome. Remember, Tannis tomorrow. 1 o'clock, Greg McConnell, for those of you in Oakland, might remember McConnell Oldsmobile. He owned it. He's going to talk about the Oakland Bulk and Oversized Terminal Insight Terminal Solutions court victory against the city of Oakland regarding the bulk terminal that will create new basic jobs in Oakland and save basic industry in the western region of the United States. Subscribe to Zenny62, bookmark oaklandnewsnow.com, and yes, Zenny62 Media has, as a proud client, Insight Terminal Solutions. See ya.